Here, your high ticket sales coach, and I am so excited to be live with you. Have you ever been in a place where you're seeing everyone else succeed? It's almost like every single day, every single week, there's a new overnight success, and you're like left by the wayside, wondering, I'm doing everything right. Why is it not working? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 traits of every successful entrepreneur, based off of the successful clients we've worked with. These are 5 traits we've uncovered after analyzing literally thousands of people and figuring out what makes them different so you can develop them. Now, we got a ton of really good news and some great strategies in this video. So if you're watching live, give me a hashtag Team Live. If you're on the rerun, go to put hashtag Team Rerun. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. And if you want the notes, if you're like, oh my gosh, Shawn, I want the text version of this, go ahead and put a hashtag notes below, and we'll make sure to get those sent to you. Are you ready? Let's jump in. All right, I'm HeyShawnQ, your head sales coach, and I help coaches and experts easily land dream clients so you can have more fun and make more money in your business without using all the ick and sleaze and non-consensual sales tricks of the past. We do this using our Heck Yes sales method. Now, if you want to make sure that you never miss a gold nugget that we share, make sure you go to that subscribe button, click on that. You're going to hear a ding. It looks like a little bell, and you'll get notified every single time we go live. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 traits of every successful entrepreneur that I have ever encountered. I've had an awesome opportunity, and I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to work with some incredibly successful people. People not only successful in business, but also successful in life, in marriage, in health. And so I'm going to share with you these 5 traits and help you develop that. That's the great news about these 5 traits, because most of the time we have this limited perspective. We see people who are out there. I don't know about you, but I remember seeing people who were like so successful and like amazing, and I would think like, man, I'm nothing like that. My personality type is nothing like that. My drive is nothing like that. I'm just a different type of person with different experiences. My skill set is nothing like that. I'll never be like that. And maybe you've been there before, where you're looking at all these successful people, and it's almost discouraging for you because you look at that and you're like, well, I'm not like that. Well, here's what the number one thing I want to encourage you today. If you don't take anything else away from today, I want you to know this. You can build a successful business and win at the game of entrepreneurship on your own terms. Somebody give me like a hashtag gold nugget. That was so good. You can do it on your own terms, in the way that you want to win, that is aligned with your values, aligned with what you have desired in your life. You don't have to build a business like all the other people. You have an opportunity to figure out who you are, to assess who you are, to develop that self-awareness, and then develop these 5 traits so that you can build the business and win on your own terms. Now, before I even share the 5 traits, I want to define what a trait is, because it's super important. So a trait, this is a distinguishing quality or characteristic. A distinguishing quality or characteristic. You know, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I love to study psychology and research like all the data. And here's some really good news. Our brain is designed in such a way that it has a characteristic called plasticity. Now, I know that's a big fancy word. Let me just break it down. In other words, the brain has the ability to change. When you have like a habit in your life, right? You do something over and over and over and over. For some people, maybe it's smoking, or it's, doing something. For some people, it's working out. It's a habit that you just do over and over and over. What happens is your brain creates a pathway so that it can tell itself, hey, this is something he or she likes to do, so make it easy for them. Well, guess what? Your brain can create new pathways. It can create a different set of traits. So even if you see somebody who is like you are inspired by them, you want to live up to that, you can develop traits. Your brain can change itself, which is pretty incredible. You can change the way you see the world and the way you show up in the world, which is really good news. Because let me tell you something. I was the shyest kid in the world. I was the kid who was like in high school, I walked home alone. I ran home because I didn't want to be seen walking home alone. I was the kid who like I didn't want to hang out with people, and I would see all the extroverts, all the popular kids, and I used to think I'll never be like that. And now I've discovered that the traits of being social, being likable, being personable, those are things you can develop. Those are the things you can learn. So I'm going to share with you the 5 traits. If you're taking notes, go ahead and write these notes in the comments section. Trait number one is you have to be willing to do the work. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen people become entrepreneurs expecting to make millions of dollars, expecting to have global influence, expecting to be connected with global leaders and clients without putting an inch of work in. I think there's been this unfair standard that's been shared. And it's the easiest marketing thing in the world. Hey, you don't have to do anything and you'll be successful. But the truth is, it does take work. You have to do something in order to get something. Right now, you're doing something in your business, in your life, in your marriage. Maybe it's all on default. You're not like consciously doing it or strategically or intentionally doing it, but you're doing something and you're getting a result based off of that work. When you become strategic, when you become intentional, when you start putting in effort and you are in it for the long term and you begin to enjoy the work, guess what happens? A year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you're going to start seeing results. You want something different, do something different. Now, I particularly look for these 5 traits, specifically this one in any client I choose to work with. If you want like a get rich quick kind of like plan, go try the lottery because you're going to have so much more success there than trying to start a business. Many of you can attest, like being a business owner, it takes work. So I look, are you willing to put the work in? Are you willing to fail over and over and over? Are you willing to put the work in knowing that it may not work out the first time or the second time or the third time? Are you willing to do the work, fail, and then get right back up and do it again? And then do it again, and then do it again, and shift and iterate. If you're willing to do the work, you're likely to have success as a business owner. Now, trait number 2. Trait number 1, willing to do the work. Trait number 2, you have to have an unwavering belief in your inevitable success. Have you ever heard an interview where they're like, did you expect this kind of success? And then the people are like kind of humbly saying, oh, I never expected this success. Well, here's the truth. There was a study that was done that went to an impoverished country, and they interviewed about 100 school kids. They were younger kids, in elementary school, grade school, and they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everyone said, oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a business owner. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be, a politician. I want to be a leader in my community. And they all shared these big dreams. And then they asked a second question. And the question was, well, what do you expect to be when you grow up? And in this impoverished nation, these kids began to shift their answers. 98% of them said, well, I expect to be like a laborer, a farmer. I expect to take care of my parents and like barely survive. Their answers changed. Well, 2% still said, well, I expect to be successful. I expect I'm going to be a doctor or a lawyer. Their answer didn't change. Well, they went back to those kids about 30 years later, and they looked at the people who were now adults and figured out like how much money are you making, how successful are you, how healthy are you, how happy are you. The 98% who shifted their answer, who their desire and their expectation weren't aligned, they actually went towards the expectation, not the answer. They were laborers. They were taking care of their sick parents. The 2% whose answers didn't change, what they desired and what they expected were aligned. They were the same. They expected success. They were wealthier. They were healthier. They had greater opportunity in front of them. And these were people in the same neighborhood, in the same state of impoverished, in this impoverished country, with same opportunities. The only difference was their desire and their expectations were aligned or weren't aligned. So my question for you is, do you expect your success? One of the things I look for in my clients is they expect it. I will be successful. It will happen. Whether it happens today, whether it happens 10 years from now, I'm playing in it long term. And they have this unwavering belief, this expectation in their inevitable success. It's one of the traits I look for in my own clients. Do you believe with or without me you're going to succeed? Right? Do you believe that your success is inevitable and every investment you make into your business is just getting you there quicker, getting you there easier? You're going to succeed and you're willing to invest in getting there faster because you know it's going to happen. The third trait. So the first trait, willing to do the work. Second trait, an unwavering belief in your inevitable success. Trait number 3, a vision of a better world for your clients. You know, one of the things that I require from the people I work with is that I require them to have a vision that inspires me, that motivates me to work with them. I want them to have such a grand vision and to be such a visionary and a dreamer that they look at the world and say, oh, there are thousands of ways we can make this better. They look at their clients' problems and say, there are thousands of ways we can make this a better world for you. Whether you're a Facebook ad manager, a social media manager, graphic designer, web developer, you look at your clients and you see a vision of a better world for them. And that's why you're in this business. Not just to make money, although money's great, but you also have this drive to make a difference, not just make money, but make a difference in the lives of your clients. I ask my clients, like, why are you doing this? At the end of your work on this planet, how will this planet be better because you were alive? Why will this world be better because you started this business? Look, if you want to go make money and that's it, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with making money. It's actually great to make money. I may not be your coach though. But if you have a desire, a drive to leave this planet better for generations to come, and I can get inspired by that, guess what? I'll wake up Monday morning excited to talk to you, excited to coach you. So the question for you is, do you have a vision of a better world for your clients? And if you don't, I encourage you, take 10 minutes and journal it out, write it out. What do I believe is going to be better for the generations to come because I started this business? How will the world be different, easier, funner, more enjoyable because I chose to start this business and work with these clients? Trait number 4. Trait number 1, willing to do the work. Trait number 2, having an unwavering belief in your inevitable success. Trait number 3, having a vision for your clients. Trait number 4, having an insatiable desire to learn and an unquenchable thirst for action. If you're not consistently, daily learning something new, then what's likely to happen is your growth gets stunted. Right? One of the things I encourage my clients to do is like read a book every week, every month. Have a book you're reading. I read this quote that said, never trust a man or woman that doesn't carry at least 2 books with them everywhere they go. So if you go in my laptop bag, you'll find a book in there. Because I always want to be learning. I always want to be opening my world to new things. So let me encourage you. Are you listening to the latest podcast? Are you watching the latest videos? Are you consuming everything out there? Every article and podcast? Are you connecting with people and asking and learning and just soaking up as much as you can? And not just learning and collecting information, but also implementing that information. Are you testing new things? One of the things I look for in my clients is, what did you test last month? What did you put out into the world that failed last year, but you learned from it? And what did you learn from it? If you're not consistently pushing the boundaries, then as you're climbing the mountain, you're going to end up kind of just stalling out. That ceiling won't break. Well, another thing that I encourage you to do is like learn something outside of what your goal is in your business. So obviously I teach high ticket sales. I started learning about swimming. And guess what? Me learning about swimming has helped me in my business. I spoke with an Olympian swimmer. I've read books. I'm listening to a podcast. I now am training for a triathlete. All of those things have helped me in my business, have opened up my world to a new way of seeing life. So have an insatiable desire to learn, have an unquenchable thirst for action. And the final trait of every successful entrepreneur that I've seen, trait number 5 is this. You don't need a coach, yet you want one. Let me break that down because that seems almost like counterintuitive. You don't need a coach. Remember, I said you have an unwavering belief in your inevitable success. So you don't need a coach to succeed. You're going to succeed either way, but you want one. Because you know with the right coach, with the right partner, with the right mentor, you can get there faster. You can get there easier. You can cut your time in half or more. You can do things in a more fun way. With the right partner, you know that your success gets closer and closer. So you don't need one because you're driven. You're willing to do the work. You have this insatiable desire to learn and an unquenchable thirst for action. You're going to succeed anyways, but you want one. Because you know even professional athletes who are already great at what they do have multiple coaches, multiple mentors. Trait number 5 is so important, probably the most important. You don't need a coach, yet you want one. So let me know, do you have that desire to be mentored by the right person, to be connected with the right person? It's one of the things I look for is, do these people are they going to be dependent on me? Or are they going to succeed anyway? And my job is simply to lock arms with them and say, hey, let's go faster. Let's go farther. Let's go longer. If you're a coach, a mentor, a service provider, an expert, I encourage you, look out for these 5 traits as well. These 5 traits I guarantee will help you land better quality clients and people who are more invested in doing the work. Now, I want to leave you with a question for this week that I want you to begin to consider. You ready? Let's jump in. Here's your question of the week. Are you showing up as a dream client for those you hire? Maybe it's a coach you've hired. Maybe it's a contractor you've hired. I love hiring my clients. I've hired several of my clients. And I love setting the expectation right up front and letting them know, hey, I'm going to be the easiest client you work with. I'm going to be the funnest client you work with. I'm going to be someone you look forward to having conversations with. I'm going to be a dream client to you. And if I ever step out of that, please correct me. I want to make sure that our collaboration, our creativity, our connection, our partnership works for both of us. If you want dream clients, start showing up in client. You begin to attract who you are. And as you become a dream client, you'll attract dream clients. Isn't that so good? Now we're actually hosting a free challenge called the One Client Away Challenge. We do this a couple times a year, and every single time it gets better. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is go to clientschallenge.com to get signed up. Every single day for 5 days, I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to land you a client. If you do the work, I almost guarantee you'll land a client. We've had several people land clients during the 5 days. Like Penny, who landed a $15,000 client. Or Patrice, who landed a $10,000 client. Or Patrick, who landed a $200,000 corporate client, which is kind of crazy. Or Jason, who landed a $4,000 client and then landed another one the week after because he applied again what he learned in that first week. Or like many other people who've landed $500, $1,000, $2,000 clients. Wherever your price point is, we'll figure that out with you. Go to clientschallenge.com right now. Get signed up. The team's going to put that link in the chat so you can easily click it. And then you're going to be able to get signed up absolutely free. Go to clientschallenge.com to get signed up. I'm HeyShawnQ, your high-ticket sales coach. And in this video, we talked about the 5 traits every successful entrepreneur develops in their life. Trait number 1, You must be willing to do the work. Trait number 2, you must have an unwavering belief in your inevitable success. It's going to happen. Whether a year from now, 10 years from now, you're going to succeed. Trait number 3, you must have a vision of a better world for your clients. You're not in this just to make money, although that's great. You're also in this to make the world a better place. Trait number 4, you must have an insatiable desire to learn and an unquenchable thirst for action. You're testing new things. You're trying new things. You're putting new things out into the world and learning from your failures and your mistakes. And trait number 5, you don't need a coach, yet you want one, because you know that with the right one, you're able to go further, faster, for longer. I'm 𝐿𝐸𝐤, your high-ticket sales coach. Sign up for the Client Challenge right now, the One Client Away Challenge. Go to 𝐿𝐸𝐤𝐿𝐸.com, and I'll see you in the challenge. I go live every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.